Hi, I'm Dr. Jeffrey Annamarino from Bellissimo Plastic Surgery and Medi Spa. Welcome to another one of our Facebook Live events. For everybody who carries on with us and follows with us, we usually talk about a certain topic in plastic surgery. We vary it every month. We like to educate all of our listeners and anybody that's even interested in plastic surgery about what the procedure is, maybe something that they're not sure of. We go through the indications for the procedure, downtime, post-op courses, and answer any questions that anybody has. And it's real fun to do. I hope it's educational, but it's now December and we're in the midst of the holiday season, so we thought that maybe we would step away from plastic surgery just for tonight. And the holidays are about people other than ourselves. It's about our friends, our family, our relatives. It's office staff, office parties, events that we go to. It's about giving back. It's about giving. It's about being charitable. So we felt, what better way than to talk about one of those type of organizations that's right here in Pittsburgh. It's called Pittsburgh Cares. It's been around, I believe, since 1992. Mm-hmm. And so we are honored to have Amanda Trocki with us tonight. She is the executive director of Pittsburgh Cares, and we're going to let her talk through most of the platform tonight and explaining about what that is, who's involved, how can we get involved, so that I think at the end, I think you're going to be pretty amazed at what they do. And I think at the end, maybe some of us would really like to get involved to help Pittsburgh become even stronger than it is. It's a great community, and I think you'll find this organization really helps strengthen it. So without much further ado, let's talk to Amanda. And so tell me, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Tell me about you, how you got involved, what the mission is for Pittsburgh Cares, and let's just hear about it.
Sure. Pittsburgh Cares, like you had mentioned, was founded by a group of 6 friends who wanted to make volunteering easier in the city of Pittsburgh. Since '92, we have grown to reach a footprint not only including Pittsburgh, but surrounding counties, all with the aim of making volunteering easier. We actually started as a paper flyer that listed a handful of volunteer opportunities, and we would mail that out to individuals who had signed up for our mailing list, so to speak. Since then, we've grown into a website where it's kind of just a one-stop shop for everything volunteering. So you can view all of the volunteer opportunities that any of our nearly 300 nonprofit organizations post onto that website. And then it's just as easy as finding one that fits your needs, clicking sign up, and attending that project. So it makes it pretty seamless. Not only do we offer volunteer opportunities for just the general public, but we also have some customized corporate events that we do with different companies. We have really volunteer opportunities from anyone to 1 to 101.
Wow.
There's all different kinds of things listed there that you can really just do anything that suits you. You're able to search for specific opportunities depending on who you want to serve, or if you want to serve a particular impact area, if you want to serve on a particular day of the week. You can sort that all out and filter it all and find exactly what you're looking for. And then as far as when I started, I actually started as an AmeriCorps member, which is like the Peace Corps for the states. I started there in 2009 when I graduated college, and then they offered me full-time employment after my 2-year term. So I've been with the organization for a while now, but it's just a great way to see what's available, kind of dip your toes in the realm of volunteerism and service, and find what really suits what you're looking to do.
I mean, it's amazing. So the original 6 friends, how old were they when they, do you know?
I wish I knew. You know what? One of our founders is still pretty actively involved. One of her children is in our youth advisory council. Wow. So I will have to ask her that and let you know. But
I just think it's amazing. You have 6 people that kind of get together and have this idea, especially back in 1992, because we didn't really have a lot of the there was no social media. There
Yep.
was, we had computers and everything, and just kind of kicking off and
Exactly.
stuff. So to organize all of this, what a great idea. And then
Mm-hmm.
now how many people do you have volunteering now?
So annually we engage, we say around 12,000 people. Now that's
Wow.
not directly Pittsburgh Cares staff serving those people. It's anyone we touch through our website, through our customized programming, kind of Pittsburgh Cares as a whole. So that's around 12 to 13,000 people a year enroll in one of our volunteer projects in one way, shape, or another.
How do you come up with the programs? I mean, is it just something that somebody comes to your attention and says, hey, we're going to have this event, we need some help? I mean, how do you sort that out?
Sure. It runs the gamut, really. So a lot of people hear about us through word of mouth. We offer a lot of kind of customized outreach and volunteer events for companies, and so that is a way in which we get a lot of kind of employees involved in giving back, things like that. We also, I think, just in the longevity of our organization, we've been kind of come to be known as the one-stop shop for volunteering, and so we do send out emails. We have a social media presence, things like that, and so a lot of nonprofits will come to us either hearing from another nonprofit, or they might have received an email or have seen us on social media. They sign up for an account with us, and then they're able to post all of their volunteer opportunities on our website. And that's kind of the other side of what makes our mission, volunteering made easy for the nonprofits as well. So they're able to track all of their volunteer hours. They're able to post any of their volunteer opportunities. They have the access to our staff and our staff's expertise to make kind of compelling volunteer opportunities, all of that too. So we're kind of there for not only the volunteers or the potential volunteers to sign up, but also for nonprofits to help them kind of obtain the volunteers that they need and kind of put a spotlight on them as well.
So what are some of the most common? I mean, there's some that is an ongoing process, or is it just each month or each quarter there's some different ones, or there's some that are just sort of mainstays?
Yeah, so I keep using that term running the gamut, but we do have some regularly occurring partners, like Asset in the South Side is one. They are a STEM education program, and they loan out STEM kits for different schools that need different modules for different science, technology, any of those kinds of lessons. And so those kits are packaged by volunteers, and then when they are returned back to them, they're broken down, cleaned, kind of put back into population. And so I think they have opportunities. Gosh, they've been a partner for as long as I can remember. And I think it's Tuesdays through Thursdays, but don't quote me on that. Usually from like 9 to 3. So that's something that I know is a regularly occurring project that they're always taking volunteers for. But on the other side, you'll also have things like 5Ks. I know the Pirates Charity 5K is one that they post every year. It's kind of one of those one-off projects that you can sign up for. Okay. And then we'll have some volunteer projects that are those that either a skilled volunteer is needed or a more regularly occurring volunteer is needed. So something like a receptionist or a mentor. All of those are also posted on our website. So if you're looking for something with a little higher level of commitment, you can search for those things, or just give us a call and tell us that you're looking for something with a higher level of commitment, and we'll be able to match you too.
Well, that's great. I mean, you talk about the 5Ks, and we do a lot of those. I mean, there's all over the city of Pittsburgh, and there's food drives. I mean, do you guys get involved with a lot of that stuff? I know, I would imagine at this time of year, there's a lot more volunteers to be needed. It's also a tough time because it's cold outside.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I think it's yes to both ends of that. So we do receive a lot of traffic for nonprofits requesting volunteers, but it is Pittsburgh, and so we all love to volunteer, I feel like. Recently, we were rated number 7 in the country for volunteerism in service, which is really cool. So Pittsburgh is no stranger to volunteerism. So on the flip of that, we also receive a number of calls from people saying, hey, I want to give it back. I want to do something this holiday season. And so we kind of see both ends of that. But one of the things that we do that kind of marks the holiday season for us is we manage all of the volunteers for the Toys for Tots program.
Okay.
And so we work closely with the Marine Corps Reserves and help to collect gifts for children in the area, as well as help and use volunteers to package all of those toys and redistribute them out to families and nonprofits who have made those requests. I like to refer to it as Elves and Santa's Workshop because that's what it feels like with all the hustle and bustle for the holidays.
I mean, it's. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know that it really existed until just a short time ago, and so that's why we wanted to have you on to let other people know about it as well.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I need help," I'm sure that there's probably different levels of what they need that you guys to do. But let's say somebody comes to you and says, "Look, I'm just sort of trying to figure out a way to have this event." I mean, can you guys come in and start to finish, just take over and help them put it on?
Yes, absolutely. So I would say most of our staff is very familiar with volunteer coordination. And collectively, we have a skill set that's very specific, and we're always willing to share our expertise. So if it is something that, let's say like a YMCA really needs volunteers to help do some kind of painting or a renovation or something like that, we can certainly go in, do a site assessment, figure out what's needed to the best of our abilities. If we need to, pull in a contractor or something like that, we'll do that too. But yeah, we would love to help in any way that we can. If it's something where a nonprofit wants to start a volunteer program, if they've been in existence and realize that they have a need for volunteers, or some of the work that they need to have completed could potentially be done by volunteers, we can certainly help and have helped different nonprofits kind of get that up and running and help them write volunteer job descriptions and get a schedule set up and all of that too.
So
I'm sorry, Beth wants to know, what is the most popular opportunity that businesses do?
Oh, goodness.
Beth, I was going to ask that question.
I would say, we do a lot of community takeovers for companies. Most of the time because we work with very large groups of employees for those kinds of days of service. I like to refer to it as party planning for volunteerism in a lot of ways, because we'll facilitate a kickoff, the volunteer project itself, and then a wrap up. And so a lot of the time, to accommodate anywhere from 50 to 100 volunteers, we're looking at multiple nonprofit project sites. For example, a few years ago, we did a strip district takeover where we were painting some murals. I believe you can still see, I can't remember what street it is, but you can definitely still see it. There's a mural on like 21st and Penn that's a bunch of colorful flowers. Our volunteers painted that. We built a bunch of flower boxes for different communities. We had people building benches and bike racks and all of that stuff to kind of do a community takeover, so to speak. Just this past summer, we did one in Millvale where we worked with the Millvale Community Library, the community center, the community garden, and we just we had a kickoff in Millvale Community Park and then shipped everybody out to all different kinds of projects. But aside from that, we've also done some school renovations, basketball court renovations. We've worked at baseball fields, anything. Yeah, really, I mean, it's a variety of things. It's oftentimes it depends on the geographical location of where the volunteers are coming from, or what they want to do. So if there is a, specifically with a company, if they have a particular mission statement, or sometimes they have issue areas that they like to address through their foundation efforts, things like that, we try to make a match best suited to what they want to accomplish through their programming as well.
And you said your footprint for Pittsburgh Cares is, what areas do you encompass?
Sure. So we serve Allegheny County, but we also serve areas in Beaver. We run a retired and senior volunteer program out there, as well as in Allegheny County. And I believe we've hosted volunteer events in Westmoreland, Washington, pretty much kind of southwestern Pennsylvania. Mostly in Pittsburgh and Allegheny County itself, but we have, if someone wants to do something in one of those areas, by all means, we're happy to help in some way.
Now you said you talked about businesses and corporate, but people can, if an individual wants to volunteer and has a specific, I know we touched on this before we were taping about, you want to make blankets for infant babies and, it's not really something you could find. So what would they do?
Yeah, so if there is some obscure thing that someone wants to do in the name of good, by all means, they can contact us and we can find a place for those things to go or for them to do. I believe we just had someone reach out to us not too long ago that was a retired psychologist and they wanted to offer those services in some kind of way. And so I believe we're working on kind of coming up with a meetup in one of the local jails to do a support group. And then there's another program that we're working on, kind of a support group setting with another one of our nonprofit partners. So if there is something or a skill set that you're wanting to give or wanting to hone for that matter, a lot of people use volunteering as a way to build their resume. It's a great way to get connected if you want to make some new friends. But yeah, we're there for you, essentially.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Rachel asked, do you collect items that can be distributed to the community?
We do. I would say we're more apt to find a place for those things to go after they've been collected. So if you wanted to host a collection drive for something, we can find a place for them to go. We do have a short list of needs on kind of in-house that we know if someone calls and says, I want to do a food drive, where could we send these things? We can point you in the right direction. But if you are wanting to do a collection drive for something, we could also reach out to our nonprofit partners and say, someone would like to do a collection drive in your honor. What are your needs? So kind of runs both ways.
What do they, I know you have a wide range of people that volunteer age-wise and experience-wise, but where do you see the most of the volunteers coming from? Is it college level, high school level kids?
Great
people
question.
that have retired, and like you said, the psychologist now is just wanting to give back, and just sort of because of the skill set they've developed over the years. Where does that lie?
Oh goodness, that is such a good question. I would say probably within the 20 to 65 range. That's so awful to say. So we do run a retired and senior volunteer program. It's not a very specific answer, I guess is what I'm saying. We run a retired and senior volunteer program that is a part of Senior Corps. So like I was saying, I was a member of AmeriCorps. When I started at Pittsburgh Cares, we run what's considered a sister program to AmeriCorps. Senior Corps is a national service organization and movement to engage those over the age of 55.
Okay.
And so we have about, I think it's over 400 individuals over the age of 55 now who are placed in recurring volunteer placements throughout Allegheny and Beaver counties. So we get a good chunk of those volunteers, but we have college students that will sign up through the site. We have a lot of company employees that will volunteer through us, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, I'm sure there's an average and I can pull that for you, but it's really all over the place. We have families
seems like there's
that
opportunities for
volunteer.
everybody.
There is, yeah, and that's the thing too. So if you are an individual or someone with a family who wants to volunteer, or if you just want to get a handful of your friends together and volunteer, and you're looking for something that might be age specific, or for example, if you have a family and you have children under the age of 18, you can search for that on our site. There's I think it's youth-friendly projects that are listed there as well.
And you said earlier, you can be very specific, like
Mm-hmm.
on Thursday afternoons I'm available, I want to work with pets, and I want, you know,
Exactly.
it can be a very specific
Yes.
volunteer idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you want to search for something, for example, on Saturday mornings serving animals, you can filter all of those opportunities out, see what's available, and sign up for that project.
You know, you were talking about, you know, refurbishing different communities and
Mm-hmm.
you know, playgrounds, basketball courts. You know, do you have like a foreman out there? So you get somebody like me who doesn't know how to do it. I'd like to, you know, help out and be part of it, but I would. you certainly don't want me out there. Like, you know,
Yes.
Habitat for Humanity, where I'm building a house. I'm not sure people would want to live in that house afterwards. I've never done it before.
Right.
But do you have, you know, people just want to be a part of it. I mean, do you have somebody out there that says, okay, you just need to go and paint the rocks? And,
Right,
you know?
right. So any of our customized volunteer opportunities, we have a staffer on site there to provide instruction, management, all of that. If it is something outside of our wheelhouse, we bring people in. Like, you will never
Usually
be.
you bring in a contractor.
Right. So we have a number of people who have either certification or a skill set that is able to help run or provide specific instruction for one of those projects. One for me, I always want to have someone who is an experienced gardener on hand if I'm volunteering at a garden or any kind of plant-based project, because I am not a great gardener and I will probably kill everything in that garden.
Yeah.
So I usually, that's something that I know, like, I always appreciate having someone on board to help guide that process for.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, when we do stuff as a family, it's fun to volunteer and help. And sometimes you kind of go into some of these things with a little bit of trepidation, because if you've never done it,
Oh, sure.
you know, I mean, it's different than, I think we did washing ambulances.
Oh, okay,
Gosh, I can
yeah.
do that. I'm pretty good at that, just washing cars and stuff. But there's really
Exactly.
nobody's going to be living inside that. But so you know, it's kind of nice. So in other words, you don't have to have a specific skill set. You just have to have sort of that gumption to get involved and do something, and especially bring in some friends. It can be kind of fun.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of sort of the communities rebuilding in Pittsburgh. We were talking about all the communities that are sort of springing up now and sort of life being kind of brought back into those areas. So it's nice to see Pittsburgh over the last, since we've been here 12 years, it's changed tremendously and grown, and the influx of that younger crowd and bringing in that energy. So it's nice to see it, you know, and you've been through all of that. So where does it go from here now? I mean, how many people you know, you're full-time employed, how many staff does Pittsburgh Care have?
I like to say we're a small MID team. So we have 5 staff members. But yeah, hopefully, you know, within the next year or so, we'll be onboarding a couple more people to help, you know, onboard more nonprofits. Pittsburgh has such a high number of nonprofit organizations, and many of which don't really have their smaller audience. They have a smaller audience. They don't necessarily have the ability to manage or recruit volunteers with one staff member, for example.
Right.
A lot of them have maybe a paid executive director and a handful of friends who are helping, contractors, part-time employees, things like that. And that's why we want to be able to help them kind of draw a bigger audience, put a spotlight on those smaller organizations who, you know, little-known organizations that people might not be aware of in existence. But on the other side, we're also there for the big guys. You know, we're able to post volunteer opportunities and draw attention to them too. But yeah, I think for the future for us, we just want to see everyone kind of in a volunteer placement that is meaningful to them, and that they feel like they're contributing in a significant way in the city and beyond within the Pittsburgh region.
Right. I mean, that's the one thing about the Pittsburgh people. They everything's from the heart, and we've noticed since we moved here, it's a city, but it's a small kind of a brotherhood and sisterhood that really band together. So, well, I mean, that's fantastic. Listen, thank you.
Sure, my pleasure.
I really encourage everybody to call, look on the website, find something that they might be interested in, help out. And it just makes the city of Pittsburgh stronger and stronger from, like you said, from small organizations to big organizations. So I just want to say thank you for listening in. Please, it's Pittsburgh Cares.
We
Go
will
to
have
their
a
website.
link on our website too.
Great.
Okay, and you can go to our website. It'll be connected as well. So thank you again. I just wanted to remind everybody our specials for the month will be over on December the 15th. So if I can remember them, it's you don't want me to say it? Okay. I'm getting the no sign, so you can go to our website and find that out. Next month, we are going to go back into the plastic surgery mode, and we are going to have Pam, who is our nurse injector, getting a laser treatment from Tara, our esthetician. So we'll highlight our laser that we love so much, and so stay tuned for next month, and we'll have some fun again. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.